Welcome back.
We should just let the intro music just keep rolling.
I think that should be the whole show.
It's just the song itself. I mean, it says it all, right?
It does. It hypes me up. It hypes you up. It hypes the crowd up. You know, it gets you going, man. Get the blood flowing. Yeah, for sure. Welcome to Figures Not Included. I am Mikey, along with Ed.
I'm Ed.
That's Ed. I'm Mikey. Welcome to the show, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all denominations, all creeds, all races. This is a show for you.
All ages.
All ages, age appropriate for everyone. That's all I have to say about that. Welcome to the show. Yeah. How's your week been, Ed?
It's a good week, busy week. Lots of new toys coming through the shop. A lot of things moving and turning as we're preparing for our big move to the bigger shop. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Yeah, we were gonna have Larry on, but man, he is indisposed. He's just got just walloped by a move.
Oh yeah, life is just beating him in the ball sack right now.
He's just taking battered down there.
Yeah, he's just taking the L's left and right.
It's been tough, man. I mean, look, I will say, yeah, we're toy collectors and we've had our fair share of moves. It's really annoying packing toys away, and the proper way of doing it, it just feels like it's like I'm fortunate nothing has ever broken in my moves, and I've had a lot in New York, but I can't imagine
just your spirits, right, Michael? That's what's been broken.
Constantly crushed. I have nothing left. I'm soulless. There's nothing here besides ectoplasm and some chicharrones inside me.
Chicharron, I love it.
But yeah, man, just like moving is just a pain in the ass, and then to pack figures is.
Oh my gosh, it's tedious, man. When I moved, when we moved up from Miami, and I had my whole room, and I had to individually package every figure and pack it in a bin and get it. Whew. And the packing is one thing, but then the unboxing is just as bad. It's so much. I remember at the end of that packing, I just got so tired. I didn't even wrap them. I just grabbed them like in the armful and dumped them in a bucket. And I said, if they break, they break. They die. They die.
Yeah,
so, I feel for Larry. I know he's going through a lot. We also asked Brian to be on the show today. He had some interesting stuff he was going to show, but I guess it didn't get delivered.
Yeah, old thick pen.
And didn't show up. So,
old reliable Brian.
Well, maybe we're coming up on our what is this, 18?
We're yeah.
We can vote now.
We can vote now.
We can smoke.
We can vote. We can smoke. We're full-fledged adults now, so
we're getting there in the show. So we'll be getting close to our 20th show. So I think we should do something special for our 20th. Hopefully, we'll get all four of the chaps on here. The Council of Toys,
the dimmest minds, and all the toy world.
Yeah,
so, exactly.
Today it's just me and you again.
Just you and I, but we've been doing it, man. I mean,
what do they say? All the good ones end in O. Right?
I never heard that one. Have you heard? Did you hear that one a lot? All the good ones end in O.
Yes, Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's right.
Leonardo, Donatello, and then poor Raphael, and then Michelangelo's like, all the good ones end in O.
Well, obviously, I need to go see this movie again. Because it's been a long time.
I know. I don't know why you don't remember it from we were talking about this a little before that. Yeah, you were just a little pea pod when the original release was out.
Wee lad. But
you're gonna get the chance to relive that, as a grown man.
The grown ass,
right? I mean, I wish we had this as a kids, but even better, we got it when we're 40.
We're 40. 35th anniversary theatrical re-release of the OG Ninja Turtle movies from 1990. Very cool. Only 2 days, though, in August. So if you're going to buy your tickets, go get them now on Fathom Entertainment.
I'm going to take the boys to see this. I think it'd be super, super fun. So hopefully I can get a little time to take them. It would be fun to have them watch the movie on on the big screen like I did when I was a little nipper.
Yeah. Do you? What's your memory of watching Ninja Turtles?
Oh man, I remember this movie. I mean, I remember it was coming out, and we were so excited. I mean, we loved Ninja Turtles. So to see a movie coming out, we were like freaking out. And I remember the night before, I went to bed. I'm like, I really hope they don't mess it up because back then there wasn't the internet, so we didn't know what they were gonna look like. I was little, so I wasn't like seeing anything. So I did not know what the faces, the costumes would look like. And in my mind, I had this idea that they were just going to be like regular people, but with like green painted faces and the and the little masks. And so I'm like, man, how are they going to make them look like actual turtles? I thought they were just going to look like terrible, like just people with little prosthetics or something. And I was
Mhm.
really worried that it was going to look awful. And then it's so cool the way the movie is shot. It's all like in shadows at the beginning, and then eventually they jump out of the sewer into the light and you see what they look like. Leonardo's the first one, and the big logo hits, and they looked insanely good, and it
That
blew my every
that moment when it pauses, when the title screen comes up with the logo, it's just like, what? Oh my god! How can you stop at this moment? And
yeah,
then it comes in, just
so
the
good. No, but
positive dramatic effect is so good.
it lets you absorb it, like what am I looking at when you see that turtle and you're like, holy crap.
Over
And
here,
after that, I was done. I was all in. That movie
you're
was
spent.
fantastic, and that's why I love the NECA figures so much. They captured the Jim Henson puppets perfectly. They look
Yeah,
just like they did in the movie, and the way that Jim Henson created those, they just look phenomenal. So
yeah.
I remember just the anticipation of seeing them. What would they look like in live action, and then finally getting that, and it being so stellar. Yeah, that's amazing. I would love to go see that again and just kind of relive that experience in the movie theater. So
Well, you can
I can.
go get them tickets, man.
And I will, and what do you call it? I would like to persuade others to do the same because it's something special, this movie.
It'd be cool to get a group of people to go see it. You know?
That would be really cool. Do kinda like a group showing with a bunch of fans and just kinda just go and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like how people do it for the Room. Have you ever seen the Room?
Yep.
Okay, so like people, they have like midnight showings of the Room. They all go there and they dress up like characters. They quote the movie. That'd be fun to kind of do something with a Ninja Turtle one because
That
it's
would
so
be cool.
so quotable.
I'd invite you to the screening, but you probably wouldn't show up anyway, so
Well, you know that, but maybe like through Zoom or something, I'll be there. But
yeah, yeah, maybe.
I'd still be an hour late probably. Yeah,
For
I
sure.
definitely want to go see it. What's also cool, I don't know if you know this, that they have a documentary featurette before the movie.
Oh,
So
that's really nice.
the Turtles Unmasked, so they're going to actually show different parts of the movie, that behind the scenes, ever before scene stuff. So that's more incentive to go see it in theaters. It's cool. I always love, I always enjoy those sneak peeks, like little reels before the movie. You get there 20 minutes early, and they have like these little vignettes and behind the scenes stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's always really cool
nostalgic,
to
very
get a
nostalgic for me.
little bit of insight into the movies and how they were made and,
Yeah.
kinda little fun tidbits that you get to see. So, yeah, yeah, that's really
Unlimited, love my bits. So give me all the tidbits you can for Ninja Turtles.
oh, I know. Speaking
Oh,
of tids and bits, let's talk about some plastic tids and bits.
Platinum bits coming up right now with Hot Toy News.
This
Hasbro,
first this first one here, Michael, it's not hot, it's freezing.
it's freezing,
Cold, right? As
shivering in my boots. It's
as we
so
were teased,
cool breeze.
"Hey, Mikey, what
Yeah,
killed the dinosaurs?"
the Ice Age,
You know what would be awesome to have during the Ice Age?
a snowcat.
Freaking snow cat.
I mean, this was very rumored, very leaned into with the all the Yo Joe streams. So I think this was pretty obvious. But man, just seeing it actually rendered there, it's very, very, very cool.
Yeah, I was really, excited with, the way that the vehicle, was, put together. I mean, it looks really, really fun. They did a really good job of capturing the, original design, and they just, gave it that Haslab, makeover. with all the kind of extras you'd want to see in something like that. It's got like suspension, like real working suspension. It's got like light up cockpit. It's got all sorts of fun, bells and whistles. Really, really cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like the Haslab stuff for GI Joe. They just nail it. You
They do.
know.
They do such a good job. Although, I'm excited about this one. I like this one a lot. We talk about like the extras for the tiers. For
Yeah.
me, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to about this were not super excited to just get kind of a rehash figures. Obviously, everybody wants Snow Job here. He's really cool. A little people were complaining about like some of the color choices that they did on him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the vehicle's great, but where it kind of lacked was like we get another Lady J,
Yeah, but she looks
another.
fantastic. She looks really good. I
They
mean,
look
it's
great,
the
and
best looking Lady J.
I'm just telling you what the consensus has been around the people we've talked to about this was that like, it's another Lady J. Yeah, Lady J is great, but we already have a Lady J, and do we really, really need a Lady J in a heavy, coat, a flint in a heavy coat? I would have liked to see something a little more original, maybe some standard Joe troopers just kind of dressed up in snow
Mm-mm.
gear like
Okay.
soldiers and not necessarily kind of like they do with the Cobra ones. They did Cobra, Hiss and it had the driver and it had like, the artillery guy and this and that.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of fun soldiers that you can add on to this, and unique characters that would make sense for this vehicle as opposed to just like I got a Lady J, I got Flint. I don't really want extras. And that's just, I'm not saying that's all around, the consensus. That's just kind of been what I've been hearing.
Right.
And I kind of agree with that. I like the figures are cool, but I would have preferred something new, different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, I don't know, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Excuse my Joe ignorance, but like, how popular? I know Snowcat's a very popular vehicle, but like, do you think that was on the list of the remaining vehicles that people really wanted?
Well, I'll tell you this. Another topic that has come up besides the characters included was the fact that the the Snowcat is a pretty kind of niche vehicle. It's for the snow. That's what it was used for. And if you like those kind of snow adventures, it was really cool. But I think people were looking a little more for just kind of more all around vehicles. I think the
Mm.
Mauler or the Warthog or one of these tanks would have been a really good choice, just because I
Yeah.
think it's more on the top of people's list than the Snowcat would have been.
Right.
And so, is it a cool vehicle? Yeah, it's a really cool vehicle. I love the design of it, and I think it's really well done. But it's a particular a vehicle for snow, and so I don't know how many people will be like super excited about it. And I don't, I know a lot of people liked it, but yeah,
Mhm.
maybe it's not on the top of everybody's list. There might have been a better choice to really garner that excitement.
Right. With that said, are you backing this Snowcat?
It's a good question. Initially, I was like, yeah, yeah, this is awesome. I want it. But the more I thought about it and the more I am constrained with space. Now, this here, we'll talk about this in a
Oh,
second.
the bivouac, yeah.
Yeah. The more I'm constrained with space, the more I'm kind of hesitant to back it just
Right.
for me personally, just because I don't know where I'm even going to put it.
Well, you had
Because
the
for
Rattler
me,
coming in too, right?
I know I have the Rattler and then, other big things that are coming through. And so I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this one? And yeah, for me, it wasn't on the top of my list of vehicles.
Right.
So I
Well,
was
if
like,
you
you
get
know
if you
what?
get this, you know what that means. It falls
Exactly.
under, "Oh, my wife won't stop yelling at me."
She'll definitely, that's kind of the big one there. Do I really want this lady screaming at me all day when that thing comes in? Probably not.
Probably not.
So yeah, you're completely right on that one. And so yeah, I've been a little hesitant. Now, this I think is a great add-on here. And what I love about it is this is super nostalgic, super reminiscent of like the old 33-quarter-inch line because these little play sets were fun. You could buy them and give a little camp setup for your characters, little cool little places for them to kind of, congregate. And it was fun, little accessories. I want to see more of this. This is really cool. Do
That's
a
the
HasLab and include one of those. There were so many of them. And
Yeah.
so I would love to see more of that.
I think people would go all in on stuff like this if it was a separate release, an accessory pack. We talk
Oh, yeah.
about this stuff all the time. People love having to, the pieces to build up a diorama, to build out a scene, and stuff like this works. And what I love about the figures too, and I'm with you. My space is limited. I mean, I had the His tank and I had to sell it to Hidden Temple Toys, but it just things get just so busy in my display and having the space and the allocation for all that stuff and being super committal to GI Joe. Because once I said I'm not going to do the His tank, I think that kind of puts me out from all the other ones in that way, just in sort of how my brain works in terms of a
Yeah.
collection, you know.
Yeah, I
So
think in everybody's like fairy tale list, if space wasn't an option, if we all had a little pocket dimension in our closet that we could just, keep everything in there, I would love to have them all. I mean, how cool would it have to have like a big shelf or a table with all these massive vehicles lined up, all the
mm,
characters standing them around them? Oh, it'd be really, really cool.
yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of a really funny story. This customer came in, he was telling me how he has this huge toy room, right?
Mhm.
And it's so big that he actually got 2 US flags in it. And
What?
he said they were so cool, but he's like, "I got 2 of them. Why would I have 2 of them?" And he's like, "Okay, because 'cause they're probably docked, you know?" And so what and then he was like, it was so cool to listen to his, um, what would you call his ideas of how this
Mhm.
unravels in his mind. They're docked, and so when they're docked, what do sailors do when they're docked? Their ships are docked. They go out into town and kind of, have a little downtime. So he
Yeah.
literally built a whole little city, a whole little like
Oh, no way.
diorama. And yeah, he was describing he had it was really funny. He had bars, he had hotels, he even said he had strip joints in it. And
That's
he
amazing.
yeah, he buys all these like 3/4 inch figures and like from all miscellaneous lines to just kind of fill out the little city. He's even got like an auto detailing shop in there, like an auto body place where, he's got cars and stuff and
The
people working around it.
imagination.
I told him, "Oh my god, I would pay to see this thing." It sounded so cool. He had like lights in it and everything. I'm like, that's crazy. So I think that's like kind of like the wish of a lot of collectors that I wish we had a giant room where we could do something insane like that.
Right.
But
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of them are like us are just kind of tied up with that and can't really afford that much space. And so,
Unfortunately, display space is not
yeah,
included.
it's a big one. And that's what I hear a lot with these Haslabs and oversized figures. It's just like a lot of people would probably get into it if they had the room, but when you got nowhere to put it, well, what are you going to do? So a lot of people pass for that.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
you just throw it in storage. You just get the boxes
yeah,
and you
yeah.
just
And
put
then
it
like,
away,
what's the
which is
point? It's like
uncomfortable.
I never get to see it. So yeah,
Right.
it's a slippery slope there, and so for me, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'll probably pass on this one, but I hope I don't regret it.
You probably will. You'll come ask me like, "Hey, man, do you know anyone that got a snow
I
cat, man?
probably will. I probably will.
I got a snow cat, man."
I'm a huge Joe fan, and I love
Yeah.
what they're doing. My only issue is like there's so much of it now. It's like be careful what you wish for, and I've been wishing for a 6 inch. I died in my mind.
Oh, did you have an
I had an
aneurysm?
aneurysm. Uh,
Aneurysm.
no, a GI Joe 6 inch figure line, and I've always wanted one. Now I got it, and now I'm like overwhelmed by just how much of it there
Yeah.
is, and it's
Yeah.
exciting and it's super fun. But I'm like, wow, I am like,
But it was a dream, right? And now the dream is a reality, and we weren't. I don't think you're really prepared for it because you don't know how far they're going to go into it. At first, you're just like, man, it would be so cool to have what we
yeah,
had back as kids and have it in the 6 inch form that fits for the rest of our collection, and have those vehicles and everything and stuff. And then you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of stuff there with like not just like the character, but you have deluxe characters and big accessory pieces and the vehicle. Then you have animals as well involved. So it's just
I know.
build and build. So how do you? I mean, you have to have a dedicated space for GI Joe.
I know it's like they say your eyes are bigger than your stomach. I think a lot of times that happens with the toy where like you go up to the plate, you're like, oh, I've been wanting this forever, and you just start
Yeah.
serving yourself up because you're so excited. And then you sit down
Oh
to eat, and
yeah.
you're like
Those-
halfway in the plate, and you're like, I can't anymore, I can't. And
It's why you
so
got to throw it up, throw
I know.
something up, and come back,
Ah,
go back to the buffet,
yeah.
eat up, baby, like
Well,
Kobayashi.
but the good thing is that's why we have cool places like Hidden Temple Toys. So, like, if you decide that it's not for you, you could always cash it in for something smaller.
I love this Flint because of the accessories. Again, we go back to the accessories, just with the actual coffee cup, and then the mocha pot, and then the 2 fried eggs on the cast iron skillet, and then the sausages with the prong holes in them.
It's
It's just so
amazing.
good. It's like my favorite part of the whole set, really.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because this will definitely tie into what we're going to talk a little bit later, which
Yes.
was a very big popular thing. But yes, the accessories on these figure lines, and it's just crazy how things like this, like everyone's like, "Ooh, he's got guns," and no, nobody cares about the guns. We got a bag of guns.
No,
Nobody cares
plenty of
about the
guns. You can get
swords.
guns
We
with
got
every
tons of
single
stuff.
figure, but you can't get sausages with every
But yeah,
figure.
give us a coffee pot, give us some sausages on a spick. I'm losing it, and so yeah, that I mean, this one for sure. It's the accessories that sell it.
It's so good. It's so good. It's
Yeah,
absolutely great. Yeah, I love it. I love what they're doing with this one. Um, yeah, so maybe eventually down the line, GI Joe will do accessory packs, and I love that they also do just standard figures. They do, they do snipers, they do pilots, and they do all sorts of characters, and then they have police officers that they're doing as well that got postponed for a little bit.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just like they're catering to a good audience, and not just GI Joe fans, which I think Valiverse does as well. Is people that just love like army figures or just
yeah.
like generic kind of like yeah
I mean, if you remember back,
military stuff.
this runs through like the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, 90s. Military toys were always fun. Remember the little green army men? Those were
Yeah,
just like the best. They were so much fun. They were all generic, but if you had a whole bag of those and came with some vehicles and stuff, you could have such an amazing time out in your backyard playing with them. And so I think that's why people like these military figures. It just lets you go on these like crazy adventures and have some cool gunfights and bring out the vehicles, and it's just such a fun thing for the imagination. And as adults, we just kind of love kind of reminiscing about all that. And so this line just really, takes it to the next level.
yeah. I mean, look, the Snow Cat has some really cool feature. I mean, you were talking about like it has actual hydraulics within the wheels of it, so you can move it up and down, which is really crazy. The wheels turn as well. There's LED paneling inside of the vehicle, which is really cool. Have your missiles and everything that's included. It's look, it has a lot of awesome features to it.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
great vehicle. It's fun.
I love this too. The frosted windshield effect. I
Yeah.
think that's really fun as well. It's really good. There's a lot of good here. It's 325, so it is pricey, but I think that's a decent price considering what you get with it. I know you mentioned the figures. Yeah, we've seen Lady J, we've seen Flint, but these are Arctic gear. But I don't know if that really matters to you. But if it does, there are unlockable tiers right now. As of this show, it's at 6,500 backers. Needs 8,000 to fully back, which I think we're all pretty confident it will. And then it's going to need quite a few more to get the full tiers.
What's the count for the full tier, Michael?
14,000.
Oh, all right.
Got 39 days to get there, but
Yeah, it's got
The
plenty of
Joe
time.
community is strong. So
Yeah, yeah. I feel that this will back fully. I'll be surprised. I mean, we'll see as it gets closer and closer towards the end because that's when a lot of the numbers really come in.
yeah,
But I don't know. I just feel like this shouldn't have a problem funding.
right,
But it just depends on how many, people decide to opt out either for money or for,
yeah,
space wise or
right,
just, not their cup of tea. But I don't know.
right.
Like you said, it's a strong community and I think people are really excited about this line. So I definitely,
Yeah,
think it should fund.
yeah. It's at 6,500. I have no doubt. The numbers swell up when the campaign nears its end. It happens with every Haslab, every major order sort of.
Happens to you too, right, Michael?
Happens to me, yeah, right, exactly. Like right at my end, like, oh, I gotta go. It all comes out. So that's how I do it, baby.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Before we move on, you were talking about how you had this person that that had the two giant flags and made this whole city, pretty much. I'm going back in my memory bank when you were talking about that. Can you tell me? And my memory is a little vague on this. You and Oscar, you guys built your own Gotham City one time.
Yeah, it's actually true. You guys had just moved to like Del Rey and your mom had this big playroom in the back that was
This is
pretty
what,
epic.
like 90, 95, 96?
Yeah, because it was like no, it was a little sooner than that. It was like right after Hurricane
Oh, it's
Andrew.
like 93.
90, yeah, it was like 92. Yeah, so it was like 93, 94 were probably
Mhm.
when we did it.
Yeah.
And Batman, was still, very
Pretty hot.
popular.
Very
I
hot.
had a lot of the vehicles and the toys, so did your brother. And so yeah, you were a tiny little pud, and I remember we
Still
got a
tiny
bunch of
little fun.
boxes from the supermarket. I think your mom had a lot of like boxes from moving,
Yeah.
and we just like made buildings out of it. And we took like scotch tape and made the roads along the whole room on the floor, and
Yeah.
then like a little city. And then we just put the boxes with
It
little like
wasn't like a small room too.
no,
Like
it was a pretty big room. I mean that thing had to been like 20 feet by like 10 feet. It was a
yeah,
big room.
and now I remember you guys. I think you guys nearly filled out the whole room
Yeah.
with a full city, and seeing the snowcat made me remember that you guys actually made snow, in Gotham. You actually,
Yeah.
made it,
Your
with
your
cotton.
mom your mom was not happy with us because we took, a lot of shaving cream and a lot
Okay,
of baby powder,
that's what it was. Yeah,
and we made
but
a
it looks
huge
so good. I mean, the city must have looked
oh, it
amazing.
looked really good. I was cleaning baby powder off of my Batmobile for years later, but it was fun, man. It was a really fun time. We had so much time. That was, like, one of the most fun we had playing with
Well,
toys.
I didn't have fun because you wouldn't let me go in.
You were in there too. You were like a little Godzilla walking around knocking all the buildings down.
Destroying everything.
But
It
yeah, that was
was
really fun. That's true. I kind of put that in the back of my mind. But yeah, that was a really good that was a really good time with toys.
Was the Batcave a Barbie house?
No, it was actual Batcave, the Wayne
Yeah,
Manor.
Wayne
Replaced
Manor one.
They
Okay.
replaced it. Yeah, your brother had the Wayne Manor. He had the Bruce Wayne. He had the coupe with the Bruce Wayne that changed.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
car, the little car, and they had a little
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne that would change into the Batman. He had the Wayne Manor, and I had the Batmobile from the second
Return?
movie that you would push a little button and the whole sides would
Yes,
fall off with the little
that's
dude.
the best one.
Yeah, I had the Batwing and I had the Bat boat from
That
the
boat.
Batman Returns. Yeah,
Why
so
don't why am I thinking of, like, a Barbie playset? Is that because I identify as female?
probably it's like
Probably is.
that or like when we were playing Batman, you were playing with your sister's Barbie house.
There you go. I
I
was like,
mean,
'cause you guys wouldn't let me play with
well, you're like,
toys.
hey man, go play somewhere else.
I mean, Figured Not Included was like a mantra, I mean, back when I was a kid,
Sorry,
so
Mikey.
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
included for you.
It's not a show name, it's a way of life. So,
Sorry, Michael.
that's alright. We're here now,
We're here now, right?
All the
We've
sins
come a
have been
long way.
forgiven, so, we've learned to move on, become a better you turned me into a man very quickly,
Exactly.
That and the beatings, so,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that really toughened you up.
yeah,
You wouldn't be who you are today if it wasn't for those razzings
right. Don't forget the beatings. The
and the
beatings,
neglect.
the neglect and the beatings and the emotional trauma
I
led
know.
me to the man I've become today,
Do you
which
remember
is
that time when you were watching TV in your mom's room and we came in as a SWAT team and like tied you tied you up and arrested you?
I feel like we need to show a clip of that at some point on the show, which
That was the funniest.
I'm
Oh,
sure it
I mean,
was. I'm sure it
I
was
mean,
hilarious for
for
you.
us, it was hysterical.
Yeah.
Maybe from your point of view, it wasn't as funny as I remember.
From a certain point of view. Where are you, Emperor
From a
Palpatine?
certain point of view, it was
Obi-Wan?
fantastic.
Oh,
Uh,
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember all of that. I don't remember just watching the video. I remember what it felt like.
yeah, oh yeah. You
Yeah.
felt the pain.
I felt some real pain. I got hogtied and slammed to the floor.
Woo! Hey
It was back. It was back when you could just beat a kid and no
man,
one
this was the
cared.
'90s,
It was back in the 90s. You could just
That's what you did back then. That was
it was
just
just for
normal.
fun. It was just having
That
laughs.
that's called horsing around.
Horsing around. It was. It really
Can't
was.
do that nowadays.
Can't do that now. We can't do that. But what we can do now, and back in the day, we played a lot of Street Fighter and shit, man. Now we got freaking Street Fighter toys up the wazoo.
I know. What a fantastic time to live in.
San Diego Comic Con right around the corner. Very excited about it because there's a lot of exclusives. We kind of mentioned a few of them because they had leaked, but now you get actual official
The
releases
full
from
official
yeah, and Bison Player 2 Deluxe, Dollar Seam, and the Neo Metal 6 pack, which I'm super super excited for.
Yeah, that's a fun little pack. I mean, that's really cool, an exclusive. Like, what a cool way to have you like, because this, I mean, this were little like fodder for Mega Man, you know.
Yeah,
So you need a bunch of these little bad guys to do something, and it would have been a pain to have to buy all these figures to get them, you know, and to get a nice collection of them. So to get them in a little pack and be able to do a cool little diorama with Mega Man jumping on top of all these guys, really fun. Great thing for an exclusive.
yeah. When I
Yeah,
when I think of exclusives, it's something like this. You know, it's something that is. I love the box art with the old, you know, TV, the big square TV, the Mega Man image popping up. It's so cool. I love
yeah,
the box art for this one.
very nostalgic.
Yeah. So this is the 6 Neo Metal. I didn't even know their name were Neo Metal. It shows how much of a fan I am. But they look
Poser.
awesome. They move around. They have the visors. I love that you can just take the hat off and leave them on the ground like this, which is very much like the video game.
They're so
Um,
cute. I want to buy like 4 boxes of these and just scatter
yeah,
them all over my room.
I
So
know
cool.
they're awesome, dude. It's so great. So yeah, I love that one. That's a definite cop for me. And Bison, this is the player 2 version. I guess it's the championship edition. When I think of player 2, I don't know if I think of the gray one or like the white suit look of Bison. What do you think of when you think of player 2? Is it the green one?
Yeah, usually I remember this one. Yeah, then we used to
Or
call maybe
the
not one.
Christmas Bison?
Yeah, Christmas Bison. Was this Christmas Bison?
I mean, Christmas Bison would have. Yeah, I don't know if there's one that has green and red.
I'm trying to remember. There was one that was very, festive, and we would call it Christmas Bison. And I don't remember if it was this one, but I do remember the green suit a lot. So, I mean,
Yeah. I think it was this one. I think this is Christmas Bison.
well, here you got it, Mikey. You got it in 6-inch scale plastic.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we like Christmas Bison. The effects on this are awesome. You have his new portrait, the extreme grinning face, which is, I mean, is so necessary. And what's cool about this is if you have the player 1 version, this also brings that same head, the new heads and the hands that fit, or the heads especially because it'll have the actual matching red cap, um, so that you can use that for your other figure. He has the
Yeah.
thumbs up, thumbs down, which is very important. He has sort of a smirking face as well, which works. And he has his effects, and then he has his Psycho Crusher effect, which is
Yeah, I think that's what when these things were leaked, I think that's what really excited people are the effects you're getting. I think a lot of people might not even want to buy this for the figure, the player 2 figure. I think this set is worth buying just for the effects alone, you know?
yeah,
It's like it's so cool. I really want that flaming, flying body, the Psycho Crusher effect, all that. It just
yeah,
makes the possibilities for your figure display so much cooler. And
yeah,
so
and the
this is
flaming
really
blue body too, which works. I mean, it's
yeah,
so
and the
great.
blue one that you get, which one's the blue one? Dalsim or
Bison is the blue one, and then
okay,
Dolphin is the
yeah.
traditional red one.
So that's what I'm saying. You kind of want both of them because it enhances your possibilities for the figures, regardless if you want the player 2 or the player, 1. But you
Mhm.
get all the cool effects, you get the extra things like the flaming bodies, and it's really, really fun.
Yeah,
So yeah, exciting.
I love this Dulcim. I think I prefer this color than the traditional
Yeah.
brown. You
Yeah, I was
know?
talking to Brian. I mean, he loved player 2 Dawson. That was his dude.
Yeah.
Player 2 Dawson. So he's really excited about this one.
You get the blow face, the yoga blow face with
I
the
mean,
yoga
that's the best
flame.
thing right there.
Yeah, the yoga flame is
Does this one
great.
come with did the original come with a blow face, or is that just specifically
No,
for
the
player
original
2?
did not. The original, I think it had 2 portraits, but it didn't include a blow face, and it didn't include the fire effects.
Ooh, it would have been cool if they did the same thing for Bison, where they gave a blow face in the original colors.
Yeah, that would have been cool too. That's a good idea. If Jada, if you're listening, hire Ed. He knows
We
what
need a blow face.
you know, blow face. And then, like we were talking about, he brings the engulfed body, which is great. Which is like we talk about the stuff, the accessories, and this it feels like this show theme is accessories. Wow, people love them. Include them with the stuff that you're releasing because with the Snow C.A.T, with the Jada stuff, with what we'll get to eventually. Accessories, people love them. They love collecting them, especially dio pieces. Not just that accessories for the sake of. I think like something like Mezco can include a lot of accessories, but you're never really going to use all of them for a figure. But if it's for something that is part of a diorama for like a set piece, I think that works.
Yeah,
That works
I
the best.
agree.
Yeah, so Jada stuff, awesome. Always continuing to raise the bar and deliver some awesome stuff. Another company doing Street Fighter and raising the bar is Storm. We've talked about Storm before. I feel like I'm cheating on Jada because I do like these Storm figures. They look awesome from the Storm Collectibles, Storm Arena. It all looks amazing. They were at Anime Expo recently, and they were showing off the new tool Sagat. So it had a little baby ab crunch before, and then they removed that. It looks like they did a whole new torso, resculpted the bottom torso, and that is what you're seeing here.
Yeah.
Did that look better to you?
I was very interested in this one because for me, honestly, I didn't care about. For me, I like the range of motion that the ab crunch gave us, and the fact that it was small and minimal. I don't understand why people are so bent out of shape about it. So you could see a little bit of an ab crunch, but wouldn't it be cooler if you can get them in a real deep crunch? So,
Mm-hmm.
so does it look better without it? Yeah, because you don't have the lines, but was it such a huge difference? And like my question is like how much range of motion did we lose?
Right.
Is it the same? Is it just like, okay, it's gone. He's not gonna move as much, but at least he doesn't have cuts in his abs? And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I don't know. I felt like it would have been cool with the ab crunch just because I like more posability, especially with these figures. I love getting them into like really cool fighting poses.
Yeah.
I would have preferred more posability than aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
line,
Mm-hmm.
as most people argued. But it looks good. And I saw some poses where he's still pretty posable. He can still, crouch over pretty decent. But I always feel like did we miss out on something? Did we give up a little bit of a deeper crunch because it was too nitpicky? So,
Yeah.
and I love Sagat, so I'm definitely getting the Sagat. The one thing that I really loved that they changed was that they made sure that they painted the ankles white all the way through because
Mm.
before they were exposed and people didn't like that. And like I think those were good notes. The crunch, I'm not so sure of.
Right. Right. I didn't even notice that they didn't paint the heels, right? The heel of his foot, but now they actually covered the whole thing now, or
Yeah,
the
they corrected
ankle.
the ankle foot thing.
Okay. Well, here's some photos. Lethal Collector was out there at the Anime Expo. The arms cross fully, which is great, especially with your tiger moves. And here you can see sort of the crunch. I mean, it's using the hips and the whole abdomen, and how much it'll have, we'll see when we get it in hand. But I think you're not going to lose so much ton of range of movement, of them removing that little ab crunch. But I understand what you're saying as well. Like maybe it could have been left there. I think it would have worked out fine. But regardless, it's not there anymore. So stop crying about it. What I was crying over were these reveals, dude. I mean, we had the tease already for Charlie, for Dan, for Morrigan, for Chun Li. We haven't seen the painted T-Hawk Sword Collectibles, which looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, some fantastic showing here, man. I mean, I wish we would have gone to. Why didn't we go to Anime Expo, Michael?
I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know what it was.
I thought
Now
you
we
were supposed
know.
to have your thumb on the pulse of the toy community.
My thumb on the taint of the toy
You just
community,
got a
but
dirty brown thumb right now.
it was too dirty. I need to wash it off. Um,
We'll have to go
but
next year.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It looks so awesome. A lot of stuff from Storm, a lot of King of Fighters stuff. Storm Arena,
Yeah,
doing King of Fighters as well. A lot of cool things. I am in love with the Charlie. I'm a super simp
yeah. The storm came out
for
swinging.
Charles.
Pun definitely intended.
Yeah,
With their showing here at the expo, they put out so many great figures that we've kind of heard rumors about. We got to see some just fantastic showings, and yeah, I feel like they're gonna give Jada a run for their money. I think the
well,
only thing hindering Storm right now is accessibility.
yeah, that's a
They
big thing.
have this exclusive deal with Big Bad, and I don't know if Big Bad just is it has to do with like tariffs? Does it have to just do with production issues
Right.
or what's going on here? But yeah, we are not getting these as timely as I think we would like to be, especially with like the delays in Rio and Ken.
Yeah.
And
Well,
hopefully that gets sorted out.
yeah, well, it's interesting because if you looked at the original schedule with these, and it happened with Jada before where things got pushed, but you should have had not only can but Ryu shipping at this time, or at least arriving to Big Bad, and you could have them both shipped out. But neither Ken nor Ryu have been there. Ken's date got pushed to the third quarter of this year. Ryu will probably get pushed a little bit more. You can go to eBay, you can go to AliExpress, but those are more expensive choices right now. So yeah, it's a bummer that Storm and Big Bad have this exclusive contract with one another because they're the only game in town. There's nothing we can do. You can't go to a local vendor like Hidden Temple Toys. You can't go to
Arg!
other websites. Exactly. You won't find it on Amazon. You won't find it on Entertainment Earth. So and depending on what's happening with Big Bad and Storm, who knows when the U.S. will get them. So
I'm sending
that
you to I'm sending you to China, Mikey. I'm gonna give you a big
I'm
old duffel
on the
bag.
case. I'm on the case. Yeah.
I'm sending you to China. You're coming back as much as you can carry, Michael.
Okay.
Don't let us down.
I'll pack a big old bag of Storm.
Big, huge.
Big. Yeah. If anything, I'll just stay there and I'll just send you guys stuff. So
Yeah. I think we're just gonna have you live in Hong
Babe!
Kong, Mikey.
Hey, we're moving. Hong Kong. Pack the bags. Pack the dog.
Hong Kong it is.
Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Street Fighter
That'd be kind of
reference.
cool. I mean, we could still do the podcast. You could get everything,
Yeah,
early. Send it down to
exactly.
us. Hey,
Figure's
man.
not Figure's not international. That's the
Figure's
whole
not
idea.
international.
Yeah, but we will be international.
I love the sound of that. It's got a good ring.
Yeah, really good ring.
Think about it, Mikey. You need to broaden your horizons. You can't live in such a small bubble.
No, I know. I need to really experience new cultures, a new way of life.
Get your ass to China, Michael.
I said I'm on it. I'm gonna try my best.
All
And
right,
maybe when I'm over there, I can pick up this
Charlie.
Transformers Across 7 Basara Pride.
Oh yes, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this. This is definitely for, I guess, some of the older collectors here that remember Macross, that remember, I mean, Transformers, Macross, came out, 80s, and then Macross was a little bit before that. So yeah, I definitely see a lot of excitement for something like this. Now this is Macross 7, which I ain't super familiar with, but the figure looks fantastic.
It looks really cool. I love all the transforming
I love that.
versions.
Yeah, I love that it's a meld with Optimus. I just think it's super cool.
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Like, I just want one of these just because it looks fantastic. Like, it just looks like a fun toy.
You get the 3 different faces too. It's really cool. All different
badass robot.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a badass robot?
And it turns into an ice cream truck. So come on.
That's cool. The imagination. You'll love it. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see
ice cream truck. Go.
I wish I had one of those in New York. This is about 200 on different sites. So you can pre-order that bad boy now if you would like. So
spicy.
Muy spicy. Speaking of spicy, cool. I don't know. I mean, it might be spicy, but I don't know. I wouldn't consider Superman a spicy superhero. It's kind of.
I don't think Superman's super spicy, but I think a lot of these faces that have been sculpted for the new toys are a little spicy. He's been eating a little too much of that spice.
Yeah, I think he had an allergic reaction to like a sweet pepper or something. Figure Arts showed off their Superman, which also is up for pre-order right now. And people have made some comments about it, and I totally understand. The face sculpt primarily being the major point of contention.
Yeah,
because
I'm like Happy Gilmore.
We all saw it. We all felt it.
Everyone felt it.
Yeah. So you get your own Shooter McGavin action figure in the Superman suit. Now you just need you need need your Happy Gilmore like a General Zod outfit.
I know, right?
Like that, so you have your Happy Gilmore X Superman multiverse in there. So
that'd be
yeah.
crazy.
But actually,
he needs to wear a Superman suit at the next con he does.
I think he should. That'd be a great idea.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to get one of these figures and have him sign it for me.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. What are you feeling like? Because you're a 1/6 guy, so I'm curious what you think about the Hot Toys and the in art.
I think they look pretty good. A lot of people have been complaining about the faces. Some people say the Hot Toys is fugly and in art did it better. Other people say that Hot Toys did it better and the in art toys is the fugly one. Honestly, are they perfect likenesses? No, but do they look pretty cool? I mean, I still think they look like Superman. I'm not super picky. You know, I think more people are a little more um what's the word, Michael?
Anal.
Anal, exactly. A lot of them are a little more anal about it. You know, he doesn't really. He looks more. You know, like if like yeah.
You look
He
like he has
looks
some
like a
work done or something, you know?
yeah. Like so it's not there yet. The face is a
Not
little
there.
off, but hey,
It needs
you
to
know,
cook a little bit more.
yeah, and it's a little
A little,
underbaked.
a little,
That's
little
what I'm
raw,
thinking.
little raw, little raw.
But is it like terrible that you're like, oh my gosh, this figure is like the worst? No, but I will say for the price you're paying for an in art or even Hot Toys, for the face to be so far off that it doesn't look right. I mean, that's what these figures are known for, especially Hot Toys. They're known for capturing a fantastic likeness of the character, the actor,
Mhm.
and you know this is just kind of falling short of what we've seen them do with certain other characters. So I feel like this one will probably be revisited later, and they'll do a much better job. So I think for the fans of Superman and they enjoy this one, I'm sure they'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
But I think if someone is patient and they wait for a secondary version, you'll probably get something that looks a little closer to the actor.
This is the inner Superman, either smelling roses or um, he just took a big old dump and he was really, really relaxed.
Lois Lane just ripped.
Look, just sniffing a big fart from 100 miles away.
She's like, what's Lois up to?" And he takes a whiff. Ooh, she just spit out
Oh,
that bean burrito.
that's thick. We're gonna go see what's going on.
Poor Superman. The woes of having super smell.
What if you had all of Superman's powers? What would you think would be the worst one to have? Would it be the super smell? I mean, I don't know if he has super smell, but I imagine he has all his senses are very heightened, right? His sight,
Yeah, I mean, I
X-ray.
would assume he has super hearing, he has super sight. Why wouldn't he have super smell? You know,
Can you
I
imagine
don't
like
know.
if you're like you're Superman, you're at a baseball game, and like you pass by the bathroom and you just see like a bunch of like fat Mets fans or something with like their dongs out peeing. He's
Oh
like
my
that's the
gosh.
vision you see.
Yeah, I don't know, Michael. That's I don't know what you're doing with Superman's powers. Well, you're peeping at.
No, I'm just saying if you're just like doing stuff.
I just feel like I wouldn't be doing that with these powers. I'd
I
have
don't know.
other
I'm thinking
priorities.
of, I'm thinking of extreme situations. That's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
no, but honestly, I think Superman, and this is kind of like we've seen him do. You know, if you want to get super nerdy into it, you know, he learned to tame his powers. You know, hold back it. So he probably does ever have like super heightened smell, super heightened
Right,
taste, and everything, but he's able to hold it back so he
right.
can kind of live a normal life. You
But I'm
know,
saying like
and
if you did, like say like you
and
just
have
woke up
fun.
one day, you had the Superman powers, you wouldn't know any of that.
Well, do I have control over the powers
You
like
just wake up
Superman
one
does,
day
or
and
am
you
I
have
just
super,
kind
I
of like
think you wake
whacked
up
out?
one day. You wake up one day, you have Superman powers.
Oh man, I mean, I think you would struggle. You know, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you could smell everything, you could see everything, you could hear everything." You'd go crazy. It'd be
Right.
insane. But let's just, you know, for the sake of having fun with it, let's say you had the powers a little bit under control. Yeah, it would take some getting used to, man. I mean, if you, some of those you know, smells, you know,
Mhm.
you probably don't want to have super
You
smell
smell like they're
around
right
you,
there. Like,
you
that's
know?
rancid. Oh, that's rough. That's a
Yeah,
rough
yeah, yeah.
one.
So I would say probably smell is the
Someone
worst
someone
one, you
really
know?
beefed it.
'Cause, you know, you don't have to eat something if you don't want it, you know, if you know, don't wanna hear a noise, you can leave. If you
Right.
don't wanna look at it, close your eyes, but
Right.
smell, man, you gotta breathe, so
You gotta breathe, man. Even if you're an alien, you just gotta breathe. Would you wear a costume or would you just like go around with a t-shirt and cargo pants or
hell
cargo
no, I would
cargo shorts?
totally wear a costume. I mean, if you have superpowers and you don't wear a costume, something's wrong with you, man.
It would be really funny if you just like went around with your figures unincluded shirt and just like cargo shorts and
Well,
flying
they did
around
that.
everywhere.
That's what they did with Superman, in the New 52. They just put him in jeans and a Superman t-shirt. Like half of like most super comic book nerds dressed. You know, he wasn't doing anything special.
And like sandals with socks on them. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
that would be my
I don't know.
costume.
I feel if I had superpowers, I want to rock a cape. You know, I want to rock some badass boots. You know,
Yeah.
man, I'll even wear the little undies. I would have fun with it, dude.
You would have fun. I'd be interested.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Well,
I
What
would
about you? What would you like if you had to create your suit? What would you look like? Like, let's say, like, pick a character that you think would closely resemble what your suit would look like.
Mole Man. Uh, no, like a one piece, like really tight, showing off all my curvature, and like a little cape just flowing to
So,
like the back.
so you're saying like Catwoman with a cape?
Yeah, I think, like you can call it Catman. So real
Are you gonna
tight
have the
leather.
Are you gonna have the zipper
Yeah,
halfway down your chest too?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
I've
Big
already
stiletto,
designed it in my head.
big stiletto heels.
I don't know
Um,
what my costume would be. I don't know. I don't know if I would try to find something that's like in the middle of like casual, but also super, heroic. Like I always love like what Rorschach looked like. I always thought that kind of
yeah, it's kind of a neat
costume.
one. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
well, he was cool because he was more kind of like under the radar,
Right.
gathering information, kind of like a spy type of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to do something with like a little more flashy, a little more armor.
Give me Dick
You know.
Tracy. I'll go Dick Tracy. I want like a big yellow hat and big yellow coat and I want a Tommy gun and all that stuff.
So you want to look like what's his name?
Al Pacino.
Yeah, but no, what's the name of the Curious George? You want to look like Curious
Yeah,
George
the
Owner?
Curious George. Oh my god, I just made that connection. I have the worst taste. So
You do.
I picked the worst. I talked about X-rays at Mets games and
I want to go check out
the
the
men's
mess
bathroom
at the
stall.
toilet.
I am never gonna check that out. I'm just saying, if you're walking by, you just like don't have
Oh,
control of your
Michael, what a
powers.
waste. Talk about with great power comes great responsibility.
No, yeah, that's
You
the
would
word. No
fail that
responsibility.
fast. Sorry,
With
Michael.
great power comes ugly dogs.
Hanging out
um,
in the Mets
Hanging
toilet.
out in the Mets stall. Um, I wanted to get to these really quick. Marvel Rivals, super popular game. It's kind of dropped a little bit, but still ever present in the mind. Blockies that we all love that you carry at Hidden Temple Toys.
Dude, we carry a lot of blockies. This was actually, something that's been doing really, really well. People seem to really love the Transformers blockies, and everybody's like, "Cool, Transformers are fantastic." But what else can you do with this kind of like snap together model kits? And in my mind, I had an idea that you could, it was like a robots. It was, it would be more suited to robots. But then, they started doing some other stuff like Sesame Street, and then they announced they were doing Pokemon, and now they're doing Marvel Rival figures. And Marvel Rivals has been something that so many people have asked for action figure wise.
Yeah,
And so, boom, they're like, why aren't we making snap together action figures? And
right.
honestly, the way that blockies come together and they articulate and move, they are really nice action figures. So, yeah, this could totally work. And I was super excited to see this. Unfortunately, from what I hear, the rights are not available in the US for Pokemon or for Rivals. And so these are going to be only overseas.
Mm.
So yeah, that's some tough news. Hopefully they can get around it. They can figure out some deal. They can shake hands, kiss some babies, whatever it takes. Let's get them into the US because these are really cool. I think people would love
Bring them
to
to the
do these.
mainland.
Yeah, what's really cool about these? It gives you something to do too, besides just like put them, on a shelf. Like, but building them is actually really, really fun. The Transformer ones are just kind of fun to snap together and
Yeah.
see this little robot come to life. So I would love to do that with action figures. I think Pokemon would be really cool too because there's so many little Pokemon you could collect, and then they would move and they'd be articulated. So a fun way to collect those. So yeah, I think Blockies needs to talk to the right people. I think people would really like to see these hit the US shelves.
They'd be awesome. And Marvel Rivals, like I said, is very popular, and everyone was asking, "Hey, Hasbro, what's going on?" So it's cool to see another company, and that's what I love to see. All these different companies trying their hand at 6-inch standard figures. So Blocky getting into the game, I think is super cool. Hopefully, there's an outlet for them to release these in the U.S. somehow. I know licensing stuff is always very difficult, but if they're on import sites, HLJ, Ami, stuff like that, then maybe there's a shot for people to get them, and it won't be so difficult. So, but yeah, those are very very cool. What won't be difficult to get, and I think this might be the best thing they've done since Bay of the Year, which that's pretty recent. Mythic Legions, new wave of figures, the horror of Einsamor. This
Yeah.
stuff is awesome.
This line was really, really cool. I mean, the reveals were just so much fun. Almost every figure here for me is a for sure hit,
Yeah.
and the fact that and then I think this is what a lot we were kind of talking about when we were mentioning with the accessories for GI Joe that this set also comes with some fantastic accessories. Some of the characters come with really cool accessories, and they even decided that this time they're doing like an accessory set, like kind of instead of like the sword packs or the magic effects, they're doing just like really fun accessories with like a beer keg and like all sorts of like fun little accessories to do like a fun like camp out or
I love this one, man. It's so good.
bar scene. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the mugs and everything. It's just so cool. Look at that. I mean, and I think this lends itself really well to Mythic Legions because I mean, people love building dioramas. They love building little scenes with their
Oh, we got
characters.
sausages. The sausages are back. We got sausages
Exactly.
here.
And one of the big ones here was also the sausages. People love the sausages. There
People
was also some
love a good,
talks on
they love a good link.
on the
They love a
Cabal
good link.
with the Mythic people talking about how the painter for this sausages were like, it was like, you want me to paint sausages? Okay, I'll show you how to paint a sausage. And like he really went all out.
I love the
And
confidence. Yeah, I
oh
love
my
the
gosh, yeah.
dedication to making a sausage so lifelike. Which was one of your standouts? We'll go through all of them, but which is one you really loved?
It's easy to say the werewolf,
Clearly.
because it's the one I think everybody wanted the most. Everybody's been wanting to see a werewolf. But, just me personally, and I've said this before, I love werewolves. That's always been my favorite monster. And so, yeah, it's a little, easy answer, but the werewolf just rules. He looks so good. The fact that he's an ogre scale, so he's huge.
Mm-hmm.
They did such a good job with all the detail and accessories and the different heads and the mouth. Oh, just really, really fun figure. I love this figure. I'm really excited to get it.
The armor pieces are removable on top, so you can kind of mix and match however you want to with a Garmier. You have the muzzle that's on him, which looks cool, but I think people are gonna have him, with that jaw open like that. And what's cool with Mythic Legions, they're not just like hanging by their standard stuff. They're upgrading the figures. Some figures have pinless joints, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, which some of the first time. A lot of them have waist cuts, including a Garmier over here. So you're getting new, re-engineering, a lot of brand new figures in this wave, which is think it's so exciting if you're not just a Mythic Legion fan, but a toy fan, because you've seen how much impact, how much resonance Mythic Legions has in the toy community. You have Legions Con; they're all over every single sort of different toy convention, and now they're just making their figures bigger and better. And I love bigger and better. And when it comes to toys, that's especially true.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen has been at the top of my list of toy designers and toy creators for a long time. When they opened up their own studios and started doing Mythic Legions, they set a standard and they just keep improving upon that. And, we've talked about this on their previous waves when we went to Legion's Con last year, and they continue doing that. That they're continuously improving, bringing new pieces, new base bodies and things that they can build new cool different creatures that we haven't seen before. I think they're just continuing that momentum of just pushing the boundaries of action figure engineering and just
Mhm.
bringing us some really really cool stuff. And yeah, they seem to just be killing it with all these really fantastic figures and stuff that they're putting out. And then top it off, they're adding really cool things like the accessory packs and just like really fun things. So yeah, they're just an exciting toy line to follow, and just to see them continuously put out incredibly cool things. And like this wave is no exception. Really fun ones. This one I think does a really good job of just capturing that fantasy element to it. Really fun ones. Another one I really like, and I like Animorphs. As you see, the little imp character is either like a fox. I haven't memorized their names yet, but well, we'll get. Oh, there he is.
Bylor
Phylor,
Frostfur.
what a fun
Yeah.
little figure. He's like the little camp cook, and he's based off of the little imp body, but they gave him like a little fox marmot head, which just looks really, really fun. and that's how you just, hey, let's turn this into something different and fun. And what a fun little creature. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah,
I mean, super.
they all look super fun.
Yeah.
You
What
know.
about you? You didn't tell us. What's your favorite, Michael? The reveals.
Oh man, it's hard. I mean, the wolf one. I mean, Garmier looks
Yeah,
incredible.
I mean, he's just cool, and yeah, it could be a little cliche, but I mean, he is the main one, but he's just a
Yeah,
fantastic
I mean,
figure.
you saved the best for last, and that was the last reveal, and
Yeah, yeah,
it just looked incredible. But I also do love Byler over
yeah,
here.
and I like to give you the different heads, so they kind of show you what it's built off of, but they show you the new head that you can put on it, and it
It
just
was
gives you
yeah, you got the new head, and then also you got the pieces that go with the whole idea of building out a scene, a diorama. So you have
correct.
the fire, you have the wood burning, you have your cast iron skillet, which is great, and so you can mix and match all these different characters that are included with this wave, and they all look awesome. Jakul looks really badass.
Yeah, very
Um,
neat idea for an orc.
Yep, super cool orc. This is one that has the new engineered body with more articulation, more range. So you have your butterflies over here on the shoulder. Curious to see how those butterflies work and how much range you'll get. But I do love that they're trying new things. Double jointed elbows, pinless. You have your waist cut, your diaphragm cut there. So this one's going to have a lot of range along with Garmier and some of the other ones. They all look awesome. Like I mean, like this is the wave I saw, and I was very, very excited about. You can go to our humans as well. I'm surprised you didn't go with Commander Igraine. I thought you love your ladies, your knight ladies. You
I
know,
love my mythic ladies. I am a fan of the femme fatales, and yeah, she's probably, and the reason probably I didn't jump on her too is because we've seen female warriors, and I have some great ones, and so yeah, this one's a fantastic one, and definitely one I'm getting. But just like the werewolf is something new and
yeah.
something really exciting for the line, and so that's probably why she was knocked down a peg or two. But yeah, very excited for this figure and definitely going to pick her up.
I love just we talk about just like how they re-engineer stuff. They try new things. I love that it feels like they're adding even more cloth soft goods to their figures. You have sort of that fluffy piece that's on her collar. You have the soft goods for her tunic and everything there. You also see a lot of that with a halvard of froth there. Love the names of these, and I mean the whole body here is covered in soft goods, which is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, really well done. The accessories always, I love the use of soft goods and, plastics and everything to just kind of really build out the look of these figures. And I think that's one of the cool things that Mythics do. They know how to pick the right material. And, I just feel like the way they design these figures and the accessories they give them really just kind of add to how much fun and exciting the character can be, and also just fun as as a figure itself, just playing and messing around with the accessories and adding or taking off things and just making them look the way you want them to, and just really really fun stuff.
Burris Burger's Story is an amazing name.
Yeah.
I wish that was my name. I might have to legally
Hey, you
change
can
it
you
to
can
that.
legally change it.
Yeah, I consider
This
myself.
one's got me really excited. I love this version of a dwarf. Super, super fun.
Yep.
I really love like the Slayer dwarves with the red mohawks and beards and stuff, but I also kind of like more of like these kind of, Lord of the Ring dwarves,
Yeah.
drinking beer and just kind of being a little more like fun, little drunkards
Yeah,
or
drunk doors, which is just
know,
really fun.
brawling around and having fun
Exactly.
and telling stories. So yeah, this one's really fun. I love what he comes with. I love he comes with his big old keg, his stein. It's just
Mhm.
really really neat stuff.
And
Exciting.
also the additional goblin head, so you can get a
Yeah,
bunch of these in army build so many of them.
that's another cool stuff. So yeah, if you want to go the route of the goblins, boom, you know, it gives you a fun way to build different things and tell different stories with your figures.
And of course, we can't have Mythic Legions without some beasts. Um, Eastbjorn is your beast of the week, looking really badass. Such an awesome polar bear build here. It's very, very cool. I know you love your beast too, Ned.
Oh yeah, I love bears, and this one is you know me and bears. We're
I
very
know, yeah,
excited about that.
you're a big bear fan. You're a
I'm
big
not
bear.
denying it. You know,
No, I know.
I identify as a bear.
Yeah,
I, I love bears.
socially and
You know,
everything. Yeah,
if I could choose, and this is interesting because if I could choose between a bear or a werewolf, I'd probably go with the bear.
yeah.
Anyway,
That's what they call you.
I know, right? And
Oh, the
so
werebear.
to get another one, we were very excited about the Rising Suns wave that they gave us our first bear, and now to see them use that body and give us a polar bear, fantastic, great way to continue to expand upon these existing, molds that they've created. And hey, easy way to convert one to the other, and now we got an awesome polar bear too. I just imagine getting like three of these polar bears. How
Yeah,
cool they would look.
yeah.
And oh yeah, very exciting, very fun. I love mounts. I mean, I've said this too. Mounts is what got me into Mythic Legions, just because I wanted these really cool, horses and all these other things they've created over the years.
Right.
And then it just, I got lured into the whole thing, and the figures are just as good. So yeah, I'm always excited to see another, creature like this come to the line. So yeah, very excited.
I just realized it right now. If you have some sort of space time continuum cross pollination, you could have the GI Joe Snow Cat coming into this world because it's all
Yeah.
snow related. It's all frost related, and then you have Shooter McGavin flying over, checking everything out.
Yeah, I mean,
It all
you
works.
can talk about bring him too. Yeah, Cobra Commander opens up some sort of interdimensional portal,
Yep.
traps the Joes. They got to find their way home. Love it. I love it.
So much you can do with the horror.
And that's why we love toys. They just open up your imagination, and you can do anything you want.
It opens up that third eye of
Yeah,
imagination. The third eye.
you love opening that third eye, right?
Love of that hole to get it filled with toy good.
That old brown eye.
That's a different third eye. If hey, if you want to get your Mythic Legions, I know one place that you can go. You can go to Hidden Temple
That's
Toys.
right, official retailer.
Whenever I see that dragon, I'm counting. I didn't get it, but I'm counting down the moments till you get Baythir and just what it's going to be like for you.
So am I. I am so excited about that. I am very, very, very excited. You know how excited I was for the reveal.
Yeah.
We were there together, and yeah, I try not to think about it just because I get so excited, and
Yeah.
thinking about it just makes me even like so full of
Gooey.
like excitement and anxiety and so much. So yeah, I try to keep it on my mind just because I can't wait. I cannot wait to get that.
No.
It's gonna be so
Right.
much fun, and yeah, I am definitely looking forward to it.
Mythic
And
Legion's doing awesome stuff. Oh,
yeah.
we know what that sound is. Something
Oh,
is
you know
here.
what? I know what did show up.
Love that new figure smell.
Breathe it in, man, and let us know what you got.
So I got this in a little while ago. I haven't really gotten to mess with it, but I figured we're talking Mythic Legions. I'd show it. I wanted to go to the convention to pick this up, but I wasn't able to. So I kind of missed out on the original release. I actually tried to get you to go for me, and you were
I
like,
refused.
dude, I don't know.
Screw this kid. I'm out.
But whatever. So they released the general purpose release on their website. So I was able to get my Headhunter, um, the regular version without the glowing green effects and stuff. But hey, it's still a really, really cool figure, and he still has like his awesome cape. You can kind of see here on the back what he's supposed to look like when he takes him out. I haven't taken him over the back yet. Like I said, I wasn't able to mess with him just yet, but I am excited to play with him. And yeah, if I pick up the exclusive one of these days, I'll have both of them. But as of now, at least I have the main figure himself to kind of mess around with and add to my mythics. So very, very fun figure. I don't know. There's just something about this one that really just like said, hey man, I don't know. I think it's just the color scheme
Yeah.
and that cape and the black body with the skull. Such a fun figure.
No, it's so nicely done, and like the skeletal body on the black body, and then the skull head and the cape, like everything you just said right there.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool looking, unique figure. So
Yeah, he's just really really neat. So when I saw him come up for the initial release, I was like, oh, I really would love to get one of those. So very cool to finally get a version of him and add him to my shelf. So yeah, that's mine. What about you, Michael?
nothing. I
Oh,
blew my load last week, so I got no
you're
doorbells or anything,
taking
man.
the name of the show too literal, Michael.
I mean, it's a way of life. It's a mantra. I told you this. I've been
I don't
doing
know.
this
I
since
don't
I was
know.
younger. So
The,
yeah,
the, sh-
I
the
mean,
show doesn't necessarily need to dictate
how we
your life, you know.
right or how we right how
We're
we
just
conduct.
saying that we can't give them all the toys we talk about. That doesn't mean we can't have them.
We can have them because we're greedy bastards, but we can't give them all away.
I know. Hey, but I think here too, another like we talked about, our 20th episode is coming up. I want to do a giveaway. What do you think?
Ooh, I would love for you to do a giveaway.
What?
That's great.
No,
Yeah.
I want to give away one of your personal toys, Michael.
Oh, I didn't agree to that.
I think it's just something you have to do, though.
Is
I mean,
did
it's in the
I
contract.
checked the contract, but I don't remember signing that.
No, but I think we're gonna have to put our heads together and come up with something really fun to give away, like a really cool action figure. So we're gonna go against our nature here
Yeah,
on Not Included,
we'll
and
do.
we're gonna actually give you a figure.
We're gonna get a figure will be included.
A lucky viewer will receive something really
So
cool. So we'll definitely announce that. Yeah, I think we should do it for our 20th. What do you think, Michael?
I think it's a great idea. I think we should
Okay.
absolutely do that.
We're gonna brainstorm. We're gonna throw some things out there. So we'll have
It's gonna be a fun month. Like this is just the beginning of July, and we have a lot planned for the channel and a
yeah.
lot of stuff that's coming up soon. And we're
Yeah, this
excited
is
to
just the
share.
beginning of the story. You know,
Yeah.
we got going. We wanted to see what it was going to look like, how much we could get done, and it's just been a fun, exciting, wild ride. And I want to keep doing it. I hope you feel the same, Michael.
Oh, I want to ride, baby. Give me the ticket. I'll ride all day.
We're riding this train
Riding that gravy train.
all the way to China.
So wait, I gotta check some stuff on that one first.
One way ticket for you, Mike.
One ticket, no return.
No
Sell your
return.
home.
So
Sell
yeah,
your
so
belongings.
keep watching, keep following us. You'll definitely see more about that as we near our 20th episode celebration bonanza.
Ooh, it's gonna be fun. But before we move into the future, we got to look back in the past on this week's version of the Yellow Wing. What do you have this week for us on the Yellow Wing, my dear Ned?
Well, like we do, we like to talk about what we're talking about and try to, figure out what kind of links up with it. And I thought, hey, we're talking a lot about Mythic Legions. We just got a new release. My, new figure was related to Mythic Legions. So I wanted to show off a couple of my stellar
Your
characters.
Stellas.
My stellar characters, like we talked about it. You said that I love the mythic ladies, and here are three of my favorites. These were some of the ones I really really wanted. They were on my to get list when I got into Mythic Legions. I kind of went through all the figures and I said, oh man, I would really love these. And obviously the ladies always call to me.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have Artemis, Silver Cord, her original release with her really cool, kind of fairy wings. We got Juno the Crusher, which I know is a big one that a lot of people wanted. I got really lucky on that one. And she is just fantastic. I love the barbarian, kind of aesthetic to her, the giant, wielding hammer, double-handed hammer, and she's just such a cool character. So very excited to I like, and I like my redheads, right, Michael?
Oh yeah.
And then the last one I was able to get out of these ladies was Thalian Frostbow. You saw there with her axe and her a bear skin cloak.
Mm-hmm.
She can skin me any day. That's what I say, Michael. Right?
Yeah, I know you love bearskin, so that
how I feel about that. So yeah, really cool character. I mean, and these are actually some of I think the coolest of the Mythic Legion characters that they've put out in as a whole. These are just really really fun figures, really really nice. A lot of detail, really good job with the accessories, the color schemes, that they chose to use on these figures. Really, really fun, and I know there's been a second version of Artemis here, but I love this original version. I think she looks amazing. I love the wings that they gave her. I wish they would do more with those kind of fairy wings. I wish they would do some sort of more kind of like magical characters like that
Mm-hmm.
and do something really, really fun. But hey, I am excited with whatever we get from the guys over there at Four Horsemen. So yeah, these are definitely more. And like we talked about the new one that they announced, I would definitely be adding her to this roster. But yeah, just super, super fun. I had a really fun time collecting these. I remember we found Thalion together. Remember that, Michael?
Right, yeah, at Legion's Con.
At Legion's Con last year, which
Yeah,
was really,
yeah,
really cool. So I didn't expect to find her. I thought it should be, one of the ones, because I've talked to people who have gone. They're like, yeah, she's really hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I asked you to keep an eye out for me, and you're like staring at all this other. What were you buying? Oh, you were buying a Valiant Knight.
I bought a Valiant Knight. I had my own agenda.
Like, Michael,
I was like, all right, cool, got you. And I was like,
yeah,
running somewhere else.
you happen to see any of the ones I asked you for, Mike? And you're like, no, I didn't see nothing. And like
Crazy
literally
shit.
right next to your crotch. On the
Like, oh, look at that! I found it. Yeah, but you know what? My body guided you and us to Valiant. Like that's how it worked out.
That's how it was, right? You were like one of those. What are those wooden sticks that they do to like find water in wells? Do you know that trick?
I think so. Yeah.
That's what I did. Next time, I'm just gonna walk you around like what do you call it? Like a wheelbarrow,
Yeah.
and just have you
lead me, drag me in the head, head on the ground, just roll me around until I take you to
lead me to my Grail toys, Michael.
I will. I can do
Only
that.
your power can find them.
Only my head and my body.
But yeah, super, super fun figures. I'm glad to share these.
Very cool.
Let people check out what a cool line of figures Mythic Legions is. And it looks like we're just going to keep going on that gravy train and just keep getting really, really fun stuff. The awesome dudes over there at Four Horsemen Studios.
They are just killing it, crushing it, always delivering some awesome stuff. And
crushing it like Juno.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool stuff, Ned. That was very fun to get into.
Thanks, bud.
Toy talk. Anything that you want to recap before we say sayonara and come back?
No. I think we covered pretty much what we had to cover for this week. I'm excited, all the great reveals, and I am excited to see what comes in the future. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff debuting at San Diego Comic-Con. We've already seen some really neat stuff as exclusives, but the reveals haven't even gotten started yet. So,
yeah, man.
I looking real forward to that one, right, Michael?
Yeah, I am so looking forward to what they're going to show off. There's a lot, and I've heard some whispers of cool things happening, but we're not that far away. We're not. We're like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean something like that.
Awesome. It'll be great to know what's happening, but we'll see what goes on, Michael.
But
we'll leave those cryptic
winks hints and
viewers to decipher.
Yeah, follow the subtext. The clues are there for you. But
awesome,
yeah,
bud.
We'll be back next week as we always do, and Figure Done included. Ed, always fun talking and chatting toys with you. And it's like we always say, we love talking toys and sharing all the stuff with you guys.
I've loved showing all my great toys today. But even for you, Michael, my figures are not included. They're mine.
They're yours, yeah. My figures.
Your own damn figures, Michael.